So goodness, we finally got to see the debut of Riccardo Calafiori, and today I'm just going to be breaking down his debut and a bit of a little, tactical analysis of where he played and how he fit into the side when he came on. But first of all, I've got the clips next to me of his performance. I thought he was pretty decent, and I thought he gave us something, that we haven't really seen from the left back spot. Tenacious, dueling, I know we've got Tomiyasu, I know Kiwior has played there as well, I know Timber is going to play left back as well, but he was really aggressive, really aggressive, and I feel like that's what Mikel Arteta wanted from the left back spot. You have the variety now. You've got Zinchenko, who's technical on the ball, who I thought had a fantastic game. You've now got Calafiori, who's got that ball carrying. I think his ball carrying is a lot higher, he's got a lot higher quality when he's driving the ball than a Timber, than a Zinchenko, and that's what I love to see, because Zinchenko, firstly, when he came to the club, he was a fantastic ball carrier, but I think he's physically declined a little bit. So now we've got Calafiori, who's really good with the ball, carrying the ball. We already saw a little glimpse of that. He made a little run. The ball just didn't come off. I think it was Jesus on the left wing that was next to him. The pass just didn't come off. But that was something we're going to see a lot more from Calafiori. The confidence to drive through midfield and create things, Some games you need that ball carrying, and Calafiori will certainly give it to us. And I thought, he also had this sort of confidence in himself. It's not easy coming into the side. There's a lot of pressure on him, big defender, a lot of competition in his position, but there was this confidence and self-belief to carry the ball, to tackle, to do what we know he can do, and that's exactly what you want to see from a new signing. So I was really impressed with him. I know a lot of people have said he lost the ball, but it's that ability and confidence to try things, to be able to lose the ball. I know it sounds silly, but losing the ball is a sign of you trying things, and Calafiori certainly tried things when he came onto the pitch. We saw him in a number of positions. Actually, we saw him at left back, then left centre back, then he was also coming into this wide centre back role too, which was really interesting. So I know that Mikel Arteta has many different ways he wants to use Calafiori, and I'm just so excited for the future of Calafiori and how we're going to use him. I feel like Gabriel is going to have a bit of competition as well, which is always something you want to see. Gabriel was also very good today, and Zinchenko, Timber, Tomiyasu all have competition with Calafiori coming to the club. But a very promising debut from him. I thought he will play, a lot of games this season. I feel like he's definitely going to be used very well. But let me know your thoughts on his debut from the clips that are next to me. How did you find he fared in the game? Now let's get on to the the tactical part of it all. I've got my little tactics boards here, and I just want to go through what I saw from Calafiori when he was on the pitch, because I thought he was really effective. So of course, in the formation, this is what happened. I'm doing it from the point when Calafiori came on. There was lots of changes in the side. We obviously had White still on the pitch. Kiwior came in for Saliba. Lewis Skelly came on for Gabriel. Calafiori then dropped into this position there. Jorginho came in for Partey. Rice, was substituted for Jesus. Odegaard stayed on. Saka, I know, was substituted for Nelson, but I'm just going to keep him there. And Martinelli, of course, was substituted for Trossard. But I thought what was really interesting was the changes between Skelly, Calafiori, and Kiwior. This is almost what our shape was. This was really what our shape was. Havertz was in there. Jesus would drop there wide, high and wide, the wingers. This was the shape. This was really the shape that we saw. Lewis Skelly was picking up the ball in these positions so many times. It was quite interesting, We always associate the inverted left back to be inverting from the left, but Lewis Skelly came all the way to the right to try and affect things. It was a really nice little rotation from him. He would kind of like drift from this left back role into this lovely area, and I just thought it just gives us something else. It gives us something else. I know Zinchenko loves to come into the left back spot directly into that midfield spot, but Skelly is rotating across, and I feel like that's just his natural midfield ability doing that. I don't know if that's a tactic. I don't know if that's individual, know-how that he knows as a midfielder he would normally do that, but it was just quite interesting. And then that gave the opportunity for Calafiori to go high in a wide centre-back role, Kiwior to settle there, White to settle there. Jorginho was almost then, it was like this. It was really lovely. It was almost like this 3-2-2-3. Odd formation when you're looking at it in paper, but it's something that Arteta is trying to do. He wants that defensive solidity with Calafiori as the wide centre-back. He's really good defending the channels, Calafiori, so I feel like having him there is what Mikel Arteta sees as someone who's secure both defensively but going forward on the ball as well. Then obviously he's got his inverted left back coming onto the right instead. It just adds this rotation between Skelly and Jorginho. I'm sure Rice will do it with with Zinchenko, but it just automatically, the quality of these players, they'll naturally switch with each other and create this sort of overload in the midfield. And White, of course, is that wide right centre half, so it's a nice little shape, and I feel like Mikel Arteta really wants to try this out a lot more next season. I know we associate in the build-up of this, you know, wide formation of the centre halves. That's normally what we like to see. We see, you know, Saliba centre back, Gabriel left centre back, White right centre back. That's not new, but it's just how Luis Skelly settled into this position, which then was almost this kind of trigger point for Calafiori to spread out wide. It's just this already, this understanding Calafiori has of his role. It's just really nice to see that, and I thought it was really effective, the rotations in there. Sometimes, of course, when we're out of possession, this was obviously going to be the shape. We know this. In there, this was the shape. This was really the shape out of possession when the opposition had the ball, and it was just quite interesting there. Calafiori, of course, is a left centre back. Sometimes I think Calafiori has the quality to be a centre back. So even when we see, you know, Luis Skelly come into midfield, I feel like we can do this. I feel like this can happen. This is now the shape on the ball. I feel like this can happen. Let's just move people out the way. Riccardo. I feel like Calafiori can do this role really well. This is what he did for Bologna, and I think Mikel Arteta might try this when he's got Zinchenko on the pitch. Maybe this is a shame for Gabriel that might come out. Saliba, I don't know. It depends. It doesn't really matter who's in there, but I feel like Calafiori can definitely do this centre back role with his ball carrying, with his brilliant ball playing abilities too. He can really settle into this role and do a really good job. So I feel like Calafiori is going to open up a lot of avenues for us, a lot of different ways we can play football, and we are going to be a different kind of beast. You know, I don't think teams will want to come down Calafiori's channel. Teams won't want to come down centrally where Calafiori is if he is in the centre back role. It just makes this fear factor, and his dueling ability as well, Calafiori, is so suited to a central role as well as a wide role too. So I wouldn't be surprised, guys, if we see Calafiori come in for Gabriel and be the centre back, and Saliba move to wide centre back, and then we have a traditional left back in Timber. There's just so many ways we can play the game. It's just really interesting now. I'm just so excited to see how Calafiori settles in, what Mikel Arteta is trying to do, because I do feel like Zinchenko will start the first game of the season. It's pretty obvious. I feel like the lineup we're going to go with: Raya in goal, left back Zinchenko, Gabriel Saliba, Ben White, of course, Declan Rice with Partey in the middle and Ødegaard there too, Saka, and then I think it will be Havertz up top. I really do feel like that game we'll see a Havertz up top. I don't think Arteta is mean enough to drop Havertz from the striker role. I think that would be unfair considering how good he was on the back end of last season. I know Jesus has had a really promising pre-season, but Mikel Arteta is all about fair chances. If Havertz doesn't really hit the goal scoring form or show a good performance up top, Jesus will come in and Havertz will have to fight again for that number 9 spot. But it's really interesting there. And of course the left flank as well. Is it Martinelli? Is it Trossard? I think Trossard will start against Wolves. I feel like Martinelli hasn't really done enough to, you know, stake a claim for that left hand spot. I feel like Trossard has been really bright in pre-season with his finishing ability too, so I feel like that's going to be really interesting. But what I saw today from Arsenal was absolute brilliance, and I know that Calafiori came in, wasn't really much to see him in the duels, but I feel like a promising debut from him. Anyway, gunners, that's it for now. Let me know your thoughts on Calafiori's debut, and until next time, peace.